Okay, good morning and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube, just Daf It. Today we're doing Nazir, Daf It number 17. An amazing share for you today. The best share you'll ever hear in your life up until this point, up until tomorrow's share. And also a great event Ben Sion today where we'll develop more the idea of Mixes Hayom Kula. We started talking about it yesterday. I came up with a pretty cool explanation of Mixes Hayom Kula, a pretty interesting Chakira analyzation of two ways of understanding the concept of Mixas Hayom Kula, which features prominently in today's daf as well. Let's start from the top. Yud Zayin Amud Aleph, the second line, the last word on the first line. Asive, we're talking about Machloges yesterday between Reish Lakish and Rabbi Yochanan. If you're Tommy, if you're in a Beis HaKvaros, if you're in a cemetery and you're Makabel and Naziros, isn't Naziros Chal at all? According to Reish Lakish, it's not Chal. So Rabbi Yochanan continues to challenge. Rabbi Yochanan says it is Chal. So it just starts when you leave the Beis HaKvaros. So the question is, Rabbi Yochanan keeps on asking Reish Lakish, Eisive. Rabbi Yochanan asks Reish Lakish, Eimei Tamei Shenazar leNazir Tor Shenitma. Ela Tamei Shenazar Shvi Shelo Olol Minyan. VeNazir Tor Shenitma Ein Shvi Shelo Olol Minyan. There's no difference between a person who's Tamei, let's say he's Tamei Mace, and he takes in Naziris while he's Tamei Mace. It's similar to the Mishnah, which says he makes in Naziris when he's in the cemetery. He has corpse tumah. He's presently Tamei from a corpse, and he accepts a Naziris, or a Nazir who was completely Torah when he took the Naziris, and now he came in contact with a corpse. There's only difference practically between them is the seventh day of cleansing yourself. Right? In both cases, you have to purify yourself. Now, the purification is a little different. If you're taking the Naziris when you're Tamei, so you have to become Torah from the Tumas HaMeis. So you have to wait 7 days. The third and seventh day, you have to sprinkle yourself with the Meipara, right? The ashes from the red cow, the red heifer. And then when you go to the mikvah on the seventh day, you become Torah. As opposed to a Nazir who becomes Tameh, he also, again, he has to retire himself 7 days from the corpse Tumah. But in addition to that, he has to bring a korban on the 8th day. And he has to shave his head on the 7th day. And he goes to the mikvah, I think, on the 7th day also. So the only difference is that he's bringing a korban on the 8th day, as opposed to a Nazir when he's Tameh, except in Nazir when he's Tameh, you don't bring a korban Tumah, like we learned in the Mishnah on Ted Zayim and Beis. So there's no difference. It's not chal the Naziros. What does that mean? It's ololo min minyan. It starts counting, right? The 7th day counts in a minyan. You're a Nazir while you're Tameh. You're Makabel Naziros when you're Tameh. So the 7th day counts in a minyan. There's no Naziros. What are you talking about? I'm a Rashi. So Marva Rashi cedes, right? Reish Lakish agrees. Even Reish Lakish agrees. When you take a Naziris in the Beis HaKvaros, when you're Tamei, it is Chal. El Kipligi Lemilki. The question is, do you get Malchus for that Tumah? When you accept the Naziris in the Beis HaKvaros, you are Tamei. At the time when you accept the Naziris, do you get Malchus for that Tumah? Rabbi Yochanan overcame in the Chayil Laki. Since it's Chal, you're Loki. Reish Lakish are Laki. V'Chayil. It's Chal, but you don't get Malchus. Easily, Rabbi Yochanan Reish Lakish. Rabbi Yochanan, even on this, asked Reish Lakish. From our Mishnah, Misha Nazir Beis HaKvaros. Filo Yasham Shloshim Yom. Even if he takes in the years, he remains there for 30 days. Obviously, those days don't count. You have to start the Naziris when you come out of the Beis HaKvaros to count 7 days of Torah, and then start 30 days. Maybe korban tumah. You don't bring a korban tumah, even though you count 7 days. You don't bring a korban tumah. Korban tumah do lamaisa. You don't bring a korban tumah. How milka lucky? But it's inferred from the Mishnah that you would get malchus. Milka lucky Allah. So where it says Reish Lakish answers, but didn't do listening and the loki. Really, it could have said he doesn't get malchus. Right? The end of the Mishnah wanted to tell you something important. That if he's in the Beis HaKvaros when he accepts the Naziros, and then he leaves, right, and then he comes back, maybe korban tumah. Now, olam and a minyan is lav dafka. We have the Mishnah, right? It actually associates your entire counting from before. But the point is that the Seifa is to tell you to bring a korban tumah. They bring a korban tumah. That if you accept the Naziros in the Beis HaKvaros and you leave and then you come back, so then you do bring a korban tumah, even though initially when you accepted it, you were in the Beis HaKvaros. Tana Reisha and maybe korban tumah. So therefore, for symmetry, in the first part of the Mishnah, it says that you don't bring a korban tumah for the initial tumah that you incurred while you were in the Beis HaKvaros in the cemetery when you took a Naziros. Tashma. Again, Rabbi Yochanan tries to challenge Rish Lakish. Ein bein tamei shenazir lenazir tahor shenitma. Just had this brisa on the top of the daf. Ella shen tamei shenazir shvi shel olam minyan. The 7th day counts, meaning because of mixes yom kekulo, right? Once you sprinkle the mei parah on the 7th day, right, and you go to the mikvah, so then in the middle of the day, so automatically in the rest of the day, mixes yom kekulo, it starts counting as the first day of your 30-day period of Naziros, right? Because of the concept of mixes yom kekulo. Nazir Tar, however, if you're a Nazir Tar and then you become Tameh, the 7th day doesn't count. Even though you went to the mikvah on the 7th day, we should say Mixed Yom Kekulo. We'll explain even and see on why in the former case you say Mixed Yom Kekulo and it counts for the first day of his 30-day period of Naziros, and the second case it doesn't. So anyway, the Brisa says Hala Malka Zev Shavan. It only implies the differences when you start counting your 30-day period of Naziros. However, it seems to imply that in terms of Malchus, you get Malchus, both cases we get Malchus. I'm really low. It came to a certain, the only difference is in terms of when you count the Naziros, what are they similar? It implies they're similar to something. It implies they're similar that in terms of shaving your head, right? Meaning, even though we said a person who's Makam Naziros in the basic forest, while he's Tommy is not maybe a Karman Tuma, he does have to shave his head, right? At the end of if you're another Tohor and you pay him Tomei, you have to wait 7 days and you have to shave your head on the 7th day. So you have to shave your head in both cases, whether you accept the Naziris when you were Tomei or you accept the Naziris when you were Torah and then you became Tomei, you have to shave your head on the 7th day. I really know Malchus Mai, but you're going to say, Malchus Mai, Zel Lokev Zain Loke. There's a difference, right? The person who's Tohor when he comes to Nazir and then he comes Tomei, he gets Malchus. However, if you're accepting the Naziris when you're Tomei, you don't get Malchus. Listen. Why doesn't it say that difference? The Gemara says, "But the kante kamayri b'kukuli like kamayri." It could have said that, really. However, it wanted to stress the takana. I mean, the positive. Stress the positive that the 7th day counts as the beginning of your 30-day period of Naziros, as opposed to the second case where it doesn't count. But really, it could have said also there's another difference in terms of malchus, which is a negative, which is a punishment. Tashma, Mishahaya Tomei v'Nazar. He was Tomei and he took in his years. Also, the Galeach Lishos Yain, Gileach Mishas Yain, Nitpel Mesim, Hareza Sovik Zarboim. You accepted his years when you're Tomei, and then you proceeded to drink wine, or to get a haircut, or to become Tomei Lemesim. You get Malchus. You see, right? For becoming Tomei Lemes, you do get Malchus. To Yufta. See, even when you were right, it doesn't say you were released from your tumah. You're in the middle of your tumah, and then you're a time of the Mesim, right? You do get Malchus to Yufta. This is really a refutation of Reish Lakish. So it seems to be like Rabbi Yochanan that if you took an Naziris in the Beis HaKfaros, you would be liable for Malchus. Now, the Gemara is going to crystallize his understanding of Rabbi Yochanan Shita in a second. Bari Rava. Rava asks, Nazir who Beis HaKfaros, Mao. Right, he gets Malchus. We came to the conclusion in the halachas like Rabbi Yochanan, not only is the Naziris Chal, but also you get Malchus. So, do you need Mao? Bari Shil Malchus or low? Do you have to wait around in the Beis HaKfaros? Let's say you took a Naziris, Hareini Nazir, and then you ran and made a beeline out of the Beis HaKfaros. You can get Malchus or not? Hey, once again, dealing with the Amri low tinzar, people warn him. They give him, right, in order to get Malchus, you have to have Asra, right? You have to have a warning. So they say, don't take Naziris. Bad taking Naziris. Lam li shia. Nazir my time will buy shia. The kamashri. I cannot be kamashri. Right? A regular Nazir, when you say to the person, don't drink wine, he's a Nazir, right? They don't drink wine. Right? You don't need shihia, right? Or even tam mesim. You say he's already a Nazir, and then you say don't go into the cemetery. Right? He doesn't need to wait in the cemetery because they're warning him. So also when they warn him, they'll become a Nazir. And he's in the Beis HaKfaros. They warned him. He violated their warning, and you don't need to wait around. Top of Yezayim Abayz. Ella, the Gemara says, let's talk about a case where he went into the airspace of the cemetery. Let's say an airplane. That's the most common example, or a jet, or he went in a wagon, right? A coach-drawn wagon. Sheda Teva Migdal. I guess different types of cars, I would say, right? And something in a closet. He went in a closet to the Beis HaKfaros. Shada table migdal, a box, shada, different types of structures of a car, the interior of a car. Ubachavero parama olav ma'aziva. And then while he was in the car, the person opened the window, right? Opened the window. He let the tuma come in. Kigmir and shihiyah bevesak mikdash, right? There's a concept of shihiyah. You're not allowed to go into the azara, azar, right? Yisrael can't go into the azara. Well, it's only for a kohen to go in there. So if you go in there, um, you violate you have kares, I think. It has to be, you have to wait there the amount of time it takes you to prostrate yourself. We only, there's a din of shahiyah come to base on Hamikdash, but outside no. Odilma lo shna. Maybe there's no different here. Also, there's shahiyah. It wasn't his fault. He went in covered, right? And we hold it's machlokes whether all zaruk shmayol. But according to one opinion, the Tanoim, right? If you're in a car and the bottom of the car is covered and all the windows are covered, right? Oil zaruk, even though the oil is moving, it protects you. It's chotzeis pnei tumah, it protects you from the tumah. But now someone opened the window. It's not your fault, right? So if you took the car and you pressed the gas and you're out of there, in 2 seconds because you had your Lamborghini, which goes very fast. So you're out of there. So it's not your fault. But here, right? So maybe you're not at fault. Maybe you don't need shahiyah. Maybe even if you took it right away, you're chayav right away by taking in the zeros. So what's the case? So the Gemara says tegu. So the Gemara says we're not sure, right? Right? It's not a case where he warned. He took the Naziris in the car, and then someone opened the window. It wasn't his fault, right? When he took the Naziris, he wasn't tummy. Tegu. By Ravashi. That question remains unanswered. By Ravashi, Nazir Beis Akbaros. He takes the Naziris in the cemetery. Ton Giluach Holo. Does he have to shave or not? We mentioned this on Yuzayim and Olive a little bit. We touched on this. Does he have to shave his head, right? Normally, at the end of a 7-day period of Tara for becoming Tameh, while you're in Nazir, you have to shave your head. When the Torah says he has to shave his head after he becomes Tameh, that's talking about a Nazir Torah that became Tameh. Become a Tameh in Nazirus. He ruined it in Nazirus. He was Matameh as Nazirus. Al Tameh Shen Nazar. He already Tameh and Dick Nazirus low. Maybe it's not so severe. He doesn't have to shave his head. Maybe he also does. Tashma. Misha Nazar, again, bringing the same proofs from our Mishnah. Who based like Faros, I feel like Yasham Shloshim Yom, Eino, a million doesn't count for his million of 30 days. Ve'eno maybe Karban Tuma doesn't bring Karban Tuma. Karban Tuma de Lamaisi. All it says, he doesn't bring a Karban Tuma, right? At the 8th day of his purification, he doesn't bring a Karban Tuma. Ava Giluche Bai. It seems to imply that the other aspect of shaving your head on the 7th day you do. So the Gemara answers no. Ma tam kar, ma tam maybe karban tuma, mishum dlo ba yiluche. These two things are interrelated, right? There's two special halachos. A Nazir becomes tameh. Besides being matar yourself with the meipara on the 3rd and 7th day, you also have two other halachos. You bring a karban tuma, you bring karban asham on the 8th day with 2 birds, and also you have to shave your head on the 7th day. So the reason you don't bring a karban tuma is because you don't shave your head. Tashma, still unresolved this question. There's no difference between if you're Tameh and you're taking a Nazirus or a Nazir who was Torah that afterwards became Tameh. Okay, we quoted this price a couple of times already. My love, right? It says there's a difference, right? There's only one difference. The only difference is whether you can reckon the 7th day as the beginning of his 30-day Nazirus. However, in terms of shaving your head, right, they're similar. It's the same halacha. And therefore, just like a Nazir who's Torah became Tameh, has to shave his head. So also, if you're Tameh and you're taking a Nazir, you have to shave your head. Where it says, no, lo, hala malchus evazeshav. All it meant to imply, the thing that was coming to exclude is malchus. Malchus, right? In both cases, you would get malchus. As we said, like Rabbi Yochanan, you get malchus even if you're taking the Nazirus when you're Tameh. What are you going to say about shaving your head? There's a difference, right? Listen to Tana. Tana should have mentioned it. Besides mentioning the difference about counting your Nazirus, also should have mentioned the halakha about shaving your head. If that's also a difference, the Gemara says Tana Shvi Shalav Mili. By saying the concept of Shvi, right, the 7th day, he becomes tahor, right? And you don't have to bring a korban, right? And you start counting in Nazirus, so we can infer from that you also don't have to shave your head. So by saying the Shvi Ololo, that really includes also the fact you don't have to shave your head. Tashma. Again, we still haven't proven one way or the other. Eli Ella, the Bryce says, Eli Ella, you made tumaso. Shein Ololo min aminyan. I only know that when a Nazir becomes Tameh, right, the days of his Tuma don't count. Yemei Chiluto minayin. How do you know that's Tumas of a mace, right? Tumas of a mace don't count, right? Well, if you're a Nazir Torah and you become Tameh, right? So it's soser, it dismantles, right? It throws off the first set of days that you observed your Nazirus. And then those 7 days while you're Tameh, they obviously don't count toward the new one, right? How do you know then when you have saras, right? A person, a Nazir who has saras, even though by saras, it's not like corpse tuma, which is soser, right? Which destroys your original Nazir. It doesn't destroy it. However, the days that you're chalot, right, that you're confirmed to be a mitzora, have saras, those don't count for the 30 days. V'dinu, right? It's logical. Ma yimei tumasam galeach maybe korban, just like when he's tameh or a corpse tuma, after he becomes a Nazir, right? He has to shave and bring a korban. After you make filuzam galeach maybe korban. And that's also the halacha by saras. Also saras, when you're confirmed to have saras, when you want to end your saras, also you have to shave your head. Not only shave your head, you have to shave your whole body in that case. Well, maybe korban. You bring a special korban. So therefore, just like they're similar in that aspect, just like so also in respect to tumaso and olam minyan, afi meichaluta and minyan. So therefore, we can learn from the fact that the way they end in the same way, you shave your head or shave your entire body, and you bring a korban. So too similarly, meichaluta, when you're at saras, they don't count in terms of the 30-day reckon them in terms of the 30 days in the zeros. So the Gemara rejects it, the Brisa rejects it. Lo, im amris b'meich tumaso shkem avatal behenas hakodmen. You can't compare the two cases. When you become tameh, right, it's soser, right? It destroys, it removes the entire counting that you did already. The fichach and olam, therefore, it doesn't count. It's not as severe. When you get saras, it's just a pause, right? You don't keep on counting, but when you're done purifying yourself from the saras, you keep on counting. It's not soser. It doesn't dismantle the original count. So therefore, maybe I should say, by when you come to saras, maybe it does count those days, even when you're confirmed to be mitzaras. So the Gemara continues, the Brisa continues, and asks a new line of reasoning. Amar to man Nazir bekever shesaro roy l'tekalachas. A Nazir who takes the Naziris when he's in the Beis HaKvaros, like the Mishnah says, that his hair is roy l'tekalacha, his hair is fitting to be shaved. We'll see in a second what this means. Ain't all in love and minyan. In that case, right, when he's in the Beis HaKvaros, doesn't count for his Naziris. Yemei chiluto she'ein roy l'tekalachas l'koshkein. When he becomes a tzaras, a confirmed mitzora, right? So his hair is not fit to be shaven. Certainly in that case, the days of when he's confirmed should not count for the days of the term of his Nazirus. Lo kol shekin she'ein ol lemon is not counted. So my lab to glachas to him. What are we saying when we refer to a Nazir beis kever? You're talking Nazirus to the beis hakvaros, that his hair is royal to galachas. Aren't we talking about royal to galachas? Meaning after the conclusion of the days of Tara, he has to shave his head for Tuma, right? Which it would be in support of what we said before, that there's tagalachas for even Nazir who's makabel beis hakvaros. So when it says lo tagalachas Tara, what the Brisa meant to say was a Nazir is going to shave his head at the conclusion of his 30-day Nazirus. So the words Hachanam Misaber, it actually makes sense to say that. These Tachadaitach, Tapu Yechem and Aleph, Tagalachas Tuma, right? We're talking about the Tagalachas of when he is Matahir himself from the Tuma of Nazirus, coming in contact with a corpse while he's a Nazir. Yemei Chiluta Omila Bayi Tagalach, right? What's the comparison to say that by a confirmed Mitzora, there's no such concept of his hair is not royal to galachas. It is royal to galachas. At the end of your conclusion of the Tuma of Saras, right, you do shave not only your head, your entire body. So it must be talking galachas Tara. The word says lo, to galachas and Nazirus kasani. Really, it could be talking about Tuma, right? All it meant to say is that the shaving at the head at the end of your Nazirus, the Tara for your Tumah of Nazirus, the Tumah of Nazirus, his hair is fit to be cut for the Tekalachat of Nazirus, as opposed to Metzora, even though they're both for Tumah, right? But it's Medine Taras, not Medine Nazir. That's all the Bryce meant to say. So it is possible that it's talking about Tumah. It is a proof to Rashi that maybe a person takes an Nazir's Beis HaKvaros would have to shave his hair after he becomes Tamei, after he leaves the Beis HaKvaros and observe 7 days of Tara. We'll continue this discussion tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed today's share. Stay tuned for an amazing Ian with Ben Sion. We talk about the concept of mixes Yom Kikula, which we started talking about yesterday. We'll develop it further. I'll give you 2 ways of understanding it and explain which way I think the correct way of explaining it is, and proof from the Gemara. Ian with Ben Sion coming up next.